Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today's webinar will be introducing Paessler and our product PRTG, as well as a number of other topics we're going to be covering, such as our partner program, our customers, and a very light overview into our product portfolio. We're hoping by the end of the webinar today, you will be more informed to make a decision whether this will be a vendor that will fit with your customers, and whether it's a vendor you'd like to work more with together in the future. Before we really start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is David Durrant. I am the Channel Sales Manager at Paessler. I've been with Paessler for nearly 2 years, and essentially I look after all partners and distributors within UK and Ireland. At this point, it's probably also a great time for me to pass over to Jordan, who can introduce himself and maybe give a brief introduction into Prianto as well. If that's all right, Jordan.
Fantastic. Thank you, David, and morning, everyone, and appreciate your time joining the call today. So, as David mentioned, my name is Jordan Travers. I'm the Managing Director of Prianto here in the UK. Prianto are known as an enterprise software specialist, and one of the key kind of straplines that we use as a business is that we work with innovative and disruptive technologies. So our key technologies cover off the topics of security, storage, virtualization, cloud and software management, and then also we do expand into other technology sectors as well. These are our core topics. A little bit of brief history around Prianto. We were founded in 2009. Our headquarters is in Germany, and we're now currently across most of Europe and North America, with physical locations in all of those territories. As a business, we're just under 200 employees globally. Our strategy as a distributor is that we only work with reseller partners, MSPs, SIs and GSIs. We don't ever directly work with end users unless a partner is introducing us to support on the call, or the project that the customer's working on. And our UK office is based in Newbury, just in West Berkshire, so we're not a million miles away from a lot of partners who are based in the south. And we're always happy to come out and visit you guys and expand on conversations of how we can support. Can I have the next slide, please, then? And then just to kind of highlight our core pillars, and this is where the strategy is being focused this year in 2024. So we cover our key kind of focus areas now are modern workspace, hybrid cloud and data center, cyber security, and then AI and data analytics. We have a portfolio of around 20 vendors, so we don't carry hundreds of vendors on our books. The reason for that is Prianto like to pride themselves in being the best distributor for those vendors, and as a specialist in that area as well. So our portfolio of 20 vendors, all of them either fit into one of these pillars or multiple pillars on the solutions that they offer. And if there's anything else that you'd like to find out about Prianto after today, or if you would like to look at the wider portfolio as well with us, you can contact the sales team on the email address at the bottom of this slide, which is sales@prianto.co.uk, or you can reach out to us via phone as well. And that's it from me. So I hope you'll enjoy the session this morning to get under the bones of what Paessler offers. And back to you, David.
Thank you very much. Yes, hopefully I can give a relatively brief introduction to Paessler as a company. What I always like to focus on is the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how. So you can have a brief understanding of us, and so that'll help you make educated decisions on whether we're a good vendor that you should be working with. Probably the best place to start with that is who we are. So Paessler are a German company. Paessler is our company name. We frequently are often referred to as PRTG, which is actually one of our products, but that's probably more well known than the company name Paessler. We're actually a German company. And we have three key areas where we operate in: EMEA, Americas, and Asia Pacific regions, all of which we have major HQs in each of those areas. Multiple other regions we also operate in, which you can see from the dots on the map. I personally after the UK and Ireland, which is actually our third biggest market behind the DAC region, being a German company, and the US, which are our two largest. The company itself is over 20 years old. We have many customers, over 500,000 installations globally. That we also service over 4,000 partners. And to give you a bit of an insight into our customer base, we have about 82% of the Fortune 200 companies already as customers on our books. But one thing which we would like you to know, which is really important to us, is that we are trusted. Trust can obviously be measured by our customers, but not being a customer, it's always important for you to do your research and understand who it is that we are. We would always encourage people to do that research, but to give you peace of mind and to save you a little bit of time, if you were to look at a number of our peers, such as Gartner Peer Insights, Capterra, Trustpilot, you will start find some very favorable reviews from our existing customers. So the important question I'd like to start with is why monitoring, and why is monitoring important? To help understand why we need monitoring is generally quite a simple question. But to me, when it's done really well, it's about leveling up to the next step. So everybody essentially needs monitoring. If you have an IT environment, you need your monitoring tool to be able to measure the parameters and thresholds. For example, server CPU. That might be something that's important to you as a business, and you need to be able to measure it. When I talk about leveling up, is the next step after you can measure them. What you want to be able to do next is to be able to inform and alert for any outages, and that could be numerous ways, whether it's text messages or integrating with some kind of service desk solution, or even email alerts. But that's the level 2 of monitoring. Once you're there, there's still another level that you can go to, the analyze level. So to take it to that level, the monitoring tool should be able to allow you to analyze and optimize the infrastructure. So you can now start to identify things like bottlenecks and problems within your infrastructure. The final level, the optimized level, is once you've identified the bottlenecks, you want to be able to resolve them, because that then allows you to scale your IT environment properly. And that's very much the why of the monitoring, which I'm going to dive into a little bit deeper. But monitoring is very much not just what do you want to monitor, but why do you want to monitoring? So what else is it that people are trying to prevent? And obvious one is outages. It kind of goes without saying that's one of the major things that people use monitoring for. But with outages themselves, there's a few things that you do need. You need to know about your outages before your users or your customers do, and that's essential part of monitoring. You also want to be able to act fast, and that might be working towards resolve the issue, or notifying the right teams when these outages occur, so you can take appropriate actions quickly and efficiently. All of these can lead to you starting to work towards a preventative approach, knowing about these potential issues before they happen, by learning from previous experience and using your monitoring tool to assist with that. And all of this is there essentially to maintain maximum levels of uptime, which is what's important to most businesses. When we do look at our customers, there's one consistent with all of them, and that is complexity of an IT network and infrastructure. We very rarely see two customers who have the same systems and vendors in place. Every customer we deal with is unique, and because of this, it lacks in a central overview. Usually each vendor will have its own tools to use to monitor its own system, which adds a level of complexity and difficulty difficulty reviewing this from a central point of view because there's also multiple protocols and standards used. The systems often aren't compatible and they don't work together. Where PRTG fits in is we will simplify the complexity. And because of the way our product works, being able to work with multiple vendors, multiple protocols, and multiple standards, it allows us to present that central overview from a very simplistic single console. And what is it we're all working towards with these customers? Well, simplifying complex results, preventing outages, all of these things work towards three key things, which pretty much all of our customers always seem to want. And that is the three things you see on this screen. They want to save money, they want to save time, and they want to save headaches, quite simply. Our product makes life easier. So talking about the products, I think it's probably a good point just to start giving a bit of an introduction as to our portfolio. And I would usually start by actually debunking a myth about our product, which is we don't just monitor networks, which can be a bit tricky because our product is called Network Monitor, but we do a lot more, and it's important to clarify that from the off. Also, in terms of our products, there's two words I always like to use to describe them, and that's fair and simple. Our products are very fair, fairly priced, and simple to understand. There are three products in our core portfolio, and they are, as you see on screen at the moment, our network monitor product, our enterprise monitor product, and our hosted monitor product. In terms of functionality and what these products do, they're all very similar, but they're based and targeted towards different needs from customers. So Network Monitor is our original product. It's the on-prem version. It carries all the functionality features of all of the products. And ideally, this is in place for customers who realistically want to use up to about 10,000 sensors. I will explain what a sensor is, but to give you a rough idea, that's usually about 1,000 devices. If customers need more than that, then we can scale up with our enterprise monitor solution. There's actually no limits as to how high this will scale, but effectively this allows multiple deployments of network monitor across large environments or even distributed environments across large geographical regions. That has some additional features in it because it is a larger centralized solution, but essentially the basis and features and functionality are very similar to a network monitor. Then we also have the hosted monitor. As you would expect, it's the same functionality as network monitor. The only difference is we will host the core server for you, so you can take it off your infrastructure if that's something that's important to you as a business. Again, in terms of features, all included, and important to understand that the moment you install any of these, you're ready to go, whether you want to just monitor traditional core IT or if you want to monitor advanced operational technology. Again, that's all included as part of the features of each of the product. More than happy to talk about the architecture. Perhaps on a separate call if people are interested. However, that's not something we're going to cover off on this call. So in terms of what can you monitor with the product, the short answer is a lot, but some of the examples are on screen at the moment. Essentially, we can monitor anything with an IP address, and we do that on an agentless basis as well, which is also something that makes us quite unique. Most basic things you can monitor, as you would expect, as you see on the screen: applications, network performance, IT infrastructure, databases, storage. These things you would expect from any monitoring solution. What sets us apart is when there becomes some more complex challenges, such as security systems, smart buildings, industrial IoT, and healthcare. That's where PRTG starts to really accelerate and show its strength as a product. So how do we do that? Well, via the protocols that we can cover. Traditional monitoring protocols are pretty much what you see on the screen at the moment. Things like NetFlow, Ping, SNMP, WMI, they're all very, very common methods of monitoring. Where we start to become a little bit different is some of the more advanced protocols that we can cover within the functionality of our product. To give you an example of a few unique cases, things like HL7 and DICOM, which unique to the healthcare industry, used for transferring of medical imagery and healthcare data sharing. Our solution is ready to cover that out of the box. Again, very unique for us. OPC UA is a communication protocol used for industrial automation. For example, you may have a SCADA system that you want to export your data into. That's something we can do with the product, and something we've done on a regular basis. It sets us apart. A lot of people don't know that, but this is also one of the reasons why we call ourselves the experts in monitoring, because we truly are the leaders in the field. In terms of where that puts us in different sectors, classic IT is something most people would be expected to cover from any monitoring solution. But again, what sets us apart is when we start looking at those unique use cases within different industries, things like operational technology and IoT. The fact that we can do those when we start looking at different sectors, such as the manufacturing sector, we can bring PRTG into control systems, monitor the OT devices, and do this from one single console. Within healthcare, we're able to monitor the imaging and medical devices using those sensors, which are pre-built. And also in use cases like a data center, we can actually monitor OT, buildings, CCTV, and environmental elements as well. Again, it sets us apart for individual use cases, but it's why we always like to focus on the why rather than the what people are looking to monitor, because understanding complex environments is what we do best. And because of all of those things, it's what makes us the all-rounder. We are generally the not just the all-rounder, but I say it gives us an advantage in terms of being able to deploy our product with very little time needed to be invested, and also having very transparent pricing. Again, it means whatever the customer's requirements are, there's usually a good chance we can help them on their journey. But we always like to talk to them about them so we can help understand and help build recommendations. There is one more trick that we have up our sleeve as well, and that's a number of our extensions. As these are in addition to the standard feature-rich product we offer, but these allow you to drill down into core areas to help individual organizations thrive. Some of those extensions, just to briefly give you an introduction into those, as mentioned, we have our OPC UA server. So this allows you to consolidate traditional core IT and OT views into one space. Again, solving a very unique challenge for people there. Our multi-board product allows you to have a central overview of multiple PRTG installations. This is what allows enterprise monitors to scale up on such a large basis. You can also integrate instances of on-prem and hosted solutions in one place, which again allows our product to be flexible enough to cover all of your needs. SLA reporter, again, if you do have customers who are looking to measure compliance with service level agreements and create detailed reports, again, this is available as part of Enterprise Monitor. We also have our database observer. If customers feel that our product might not do enough by itself, or they haven't quite convinced their database team of the value of PRTG, then we have the database observer. And then finally the data exporter. So for customers who need to export and combine monitoring data with other data sources to create really meaningful reports, these are all available. I'm going to touch on pricing of our product. I think it's quite important. You will know if you start to research us, all of our pricing is actually available on our website. As I mentioned, it's designed to be simple and it's designed to be fair. All of our pricing is in euros. We're a German company, and that's how we operate across EMEA. Obviously, if you want to see how that translates into local currency, you can get in touch with the guys at Prianto, and they'll be able to sort that out for you. But these are the licensing sizes for both our network monitor and our hosted monitor. It's also the pricing for both as well. And these are actually bundled by number of sensors. I'm going to delve into what a sensor is because I appreciate that probably does need just a brief explanation. But generally, we tend to work on multiples of 10. So if you have 10,000 sensors, you just divide it by 10 to give you a rough idea of how many devices you're looking to cover. Obviously, for anybody who's looking to cover more than 1,000 devices, that's when we have our enterprise monitor product, and you can see that starts from just over 15,000 euros a year, and can scale up accordingly to your needs. So what is a sensor? As a sensor is a really important metric for PRTG because that's how we bundle our product. In terms of what it actually means, it's a basic element of our monitoring. So a sensor is an aspect of a device or an application that we will monitor for you. Since most people will want to monitor several different things on one device, you end up using multiple sensors per device. We've always believed this is the fairest way to license a product because it allows you to determine how much of that product you want to consume and how many sensors you want to use. And you're not forced to monitor anything that isn't relevant to you. To give you an example, on a server, you may have a ping sensor to monitor accessibility. You may then also have a memory sensor to track the memory usage, a CPU sensor to monitor CPU usage, and maybe even an RDP sensor to monitor if remote sessions are possible on that server. Again, that in itself, they're all individual sensors for one device. However, you're not forced to use any of them. You can only extract the data that was really important to you. On the screen at the moment, you'll see two examples of some pre-built sensors that we have. And the reason I'm just displaying these is because it's important. There's different metrics that can be pulled from different sensors. So, for example, a ping sensor is a very lightweight sensor. It doesn't use much resource, and it pulls minimal metrics from a particular device. You then also have something more advanced. In this example, it's a Dell PowerEdge system health sensor, and that will pull roughly 12 or so metrics from one sensor. However, this will use more system resources, so it needs to be considered when you're planning for your total use of sensors. In terms of what sensors are available, we currently have over 300 that are already pre-configured and ready to use. So these will cover most common vendors, such things like Dell, HPE, Microsoft, AWS, things you see on the screen. And these usually cover most of the common protocols that I mentioned earlier. However, we do understand that customers also have a very unique need and might need something themselves. So you can actually create your own sensors, and you do this via a huge pool of custom sensors. We have easy MIB file integration using a free of charge MIB converter, free scripts, and all of these means that you can actually start to build a sensor which is relevant for your business. I'd like to just touch on our partner program as well. Appreciate this is a very much a whistle-stop tour, but I think it's something that's important to cover off today because you may be interested in how you engage with us moving forwards. The good news is that you can actually engage with us and you can sell the product today. We have various different partner levels. The entry level is a bronze partner. It's designed to onboard you fast. You just need to be registered to us, and that will allow us to engage with you and sell the product. Again, reach out to the team at the Prianto. They'll walk you through the process and what you need to do, but very simple and designed for speed when you have customers who are interested in a product and want to move quickly. If you also want to then step that up and become an active partner, as you'll see on the right hand side, we, as you would expect, have a tiered program which has a number of advantages to it. There are requirements to meet that, such as revenue billings and levels of sales certification, but there are lots of advantages you get with that as well, such as deal registration, enhanced support from sales team, and MDF funds. Again, engage with us, speak to the team at Prianto if that's something you're interested in discussing further with. As a partner, it's also useful, I think, to understand who our customers are. And I wanted to talk through just a couple of use cases where the why is very, very important compared to the what, and I'll explain more. I've got 3 case studies here, just to introduce you to the variety of customers that do engage with us. First of all is Foxtons. They're quite a well-known UK estate agent. The what they want to cover is very, very simple, as it always is. They wanted to monitor all their IT infrastructure across 60 locations, and they wanted to do it from one central location. That what is a very, very simple requirement. But when we started to get talking with them and we started to understand, okay, we know what you want to monitor, but why do you want to monitor? That's when it allowed us to delve that much deeper with the IT team and understand what they were trying to do. And they were trying to spot issues and trends much sooner. So identifying issues in production systems or memory spikes, or also looking and analyzing historical trends to identify root causes of issues. And the ultimate goal for this was to reduce downtime. Another company, which is a really interesting case study, is a German company called Windcores. They actually build data centers that go inside of wind turbines. They have around 180 of them. The what, in terms of what they wanted to do, was simple. They wanted to monitor power distribution units of individual server racks and connections between data centers to ensure redundancy. That's quite simple, but when we start to delve into the why, in Germany, renewable power plants are continuously shut down because the power grid is often overloaded. In 2019, the volume of clean energy that was not produced was enough to run a third of all the data centers in Germany. So for us, understanding that why meant we could integrate with them and help them solve their problems. The future discussions with Windcore also are going to develop onto managing 5G masts, generating invoices from individual power uses, and just simplifying their IT landscape, and all of this done with PRTG. And the final case study, which is one we love talking about because it's very unique, is Cow Manager. So Cow Manager actually make ear sensors for cows, and they monitor things such as fertility, health, location, and nutrition. Again, the what that they needed from us is just they wanted to export their data and be able to manage it centrally. When we started to delve into the why, the Cow Manager couldn't do this 24/7, and when the farmers go to bed, they needed to be alerted immediately. Things like detecting illness allows intervention straight away. Cows are a valuable asset, and their well-being is really important. So being able to integrate PRTG to potentially manage some farms with over 20,000 cows, whilst the employees are busy getting on with other matters or even sleeping, was a really important factor in using PRTG. So the conclusion with all those cases is essentially we always try and focus on the why people want to monitor, not the what they want to monitor, not what they want to monitor, excuse me. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave us with the ideal customer? And this is probably my closing slide here in terms of the information that I'd like to present today. We generally find our discussions are with IT administrators, infrastructure managers, and IT managers. We can cover all industries. There's a use case for our product with every single customer, but our strength comes in understanding the unique challenges to each industry. And that's why we like to work with our partners to understand the why customers are wanting to monitor in the first place, rather than what it is they're wanting to monitor. Traditionally, we've been very, very strong in the SMB sector, which one of the reasons is because of the ease to deploy and maintain our product. This is great because it allows a very, very short sales cycle. But now we're finding we're also playing a lot more in the enterprise space because of our scalability, which also means more higher end ops and high value opportunities as well. Our average order value is around about €5,000, which, as I mentioned, is more targeted towards SMB, but we do tend to find those deals do close nice and quickly. It's also very sustainable subscription licenses, so it's great for renewable business and frequently potential for expansion. And that brings me to the end. Jordan, I think at this point it would probably be great. We haven't factored in time for Q&A, and we're right on time. So it's probably a good point for me to hand back to you, because I'm sure there are going to be partners out there who have some more questions. Would it be okay if I let you close things out and maybe just advise how they would best get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Thank you, David, and really appreciate that. The case study around the cows is something that still fascinates me quite wildly. So yeah, everyone, I appreciate you joining the call today and taking some time out of your day to understand a bit more around what Paessler can offer for your customers. As I mentioned earlier, the email address for the sales team or the sales inbox is up on the screen. Or if you have a relationship with one of our team members already, just get in contact with them directly. Outside of that, we're always welcome to receive requests for pricing and whatnot. But also, if you've got customers that you feel have something in their project lines that this would fit, then we're more than happy to jump on a call with yourselves and just scope that out quickly and see how we can assist. So we look forward to hearing from you in the future, and if there's anything you need in the meantime, you have the methods to contact us. And thank you again for your time this morning.